When I look back at who I was a couple years ago, I can't believe how hopeless I was. I felt that we weren't going anywhere, and I certainly didn't think that I was going anywhere. Money felt so hard to make. It felt like a cruel joke, and my creative dreams were non-existent, disconnected. I think maybe the best way to describe them is like a distant childhood memory, just like had been taken so far out of my possible reality. I was living paycheck to paycheck, begging for a raise that was 2 years overdue, and just constantly battling this feeling that I was flawed, that I was fundamentally unequipped for the world, that I just was not getting it. And then I would look at the news and the systems and the way things were. And I was just overwhelmed by the sheer hopelessness of it all. Like, yeah, we're screwed. But then something shifted. Something clicked. I stopped battling those whispers that told me that my ideas were unrealistic, that my dreams were silly, that my path was a dead end. And instead, I leaned into them. I started listening closely in here. And I started to embrace the idea that maybe it would be okay if I was a little delusional. And that, my dreamers, was when I became a delusional creative. And everything started to change. So what does it mean to be a delusional creative? Am I asking you to completely ignore reality or manifest piles of cash from thin air? Not exactly. My definition of delusional is to have an unshakable, almost irrational belief in your creative vision, your ability to execute it, and your eventual success. Even when every sensible person, every single headline tells you it's impossible. You have to believe so fully in that vision that all of that external stuff actually starts to seem completely illogical. This week I saw this thread from the creator Anya Solomon who said, the current state of the job market is God asking you to lock into your creativity. And so well said. It was like looking in the mirror. When I got laid off 2 years ago, it took me 3 months to be like, oh yeah, it's rough out here. I applied for so many jobs, many that I was well overqualified for, and never got even an interview. I was like, I could reach out to 10 companies for a project in the time it takes me to fix up a resume and a cover letter for one that I probably won't get an interview for. And so I started my marketing agency. And it really goes to show that the job market is telling you to value yourself over a company that doesn't give a shit about you. And I think that's quite freeing and kind, if you ask me. This is about that deep knowing, that inner conviction that what you're making, what you're building, who you are, is not only valid, but necessary. It is the superpower that is going to push you through any rejection, any hopelessness, any fear of failure. The world seems hard right now because God is asking you to channel your creativity, and you have been disempowered from thinking your creativity is a viable option to create abundance for yourself. God, the universe, this great cosmic web we are all a part of, is giving us a new world, and your thoughts that tell you that it doesn't exist or it's just not happening are not coming from your highest self. Those thoughts are just the established paradigms that have set the course up until now talking. We are living in this shift, and the delusional creatives are the ones leading the charge. It does not matter if you are an expert in science, math, whimsy, art, love. It's us. Now, the core problem, and the one that I've struggled with, is this. You've forgotten that you are an artist with a set of unique gifts God handed to you so you could help build and thrive in the new world. It is actually the most terrible case of amnesia. Or you do remember, but then you have that sticky layer of establishment brain that tells you that the new world doesn't exist, and even if it did, your gifts wouldn't be valuable. AKA, you wouldn't be able to make money off of it. Or if you did make money off of it, you'd be a piece of shit. This is what I was up against and what you probably are too. Creativity has been shamed. You can put it in the bin with sex and psychedelics. I don't know where I read it, and I'm paraphrasing here, but someone did a survey where they asked a bunch of adults, what's the most honorable job one could have? And people said the president. But when you ask them, like, what's the job you'd most want your kid to avoid being, they said a politician. And I bet if they asked that same question, like, what's the most magical job one could have, they would say artist. But most parents cry or throw a fit if you tell them you're going to be a full-time artist. But that is just the old making a lot of noise dying. It's conditioning. It's the parasitic earworms that have leached into our brains since like the Industrial Revolution. It is why we still hold so much fear around leaning into our creativity and betting on ourselves. Because every single image, advertisement, conversation tells us that that is wrong. That someone must know better than us. And this starts a waterfall of other problems. You are disconnected from your creative power, so you don't explore your inner world or your outer world much for that matter. You don't do any critical self-reflection about your limiting beliefs because you don't realize you have limiting beliefs, and you don't try new activities or skills. And so you never find your unique gifts. And because you never find your unique gifts, you end up working a job you hate or like just enough to tolerate it, as long as you can go to a bottomless brunch or have poker night with the guys. And this was the life that I was living for a very long time. I was stuck in that exact loop and using diversions, big and small, to numb the deep knowing that I was meant for more, that I had that desire to create. My delusion was my literal rebellion. So what is the goal here, and how did I start to embody it? It's simple, and you must be brave, but we are artists. You need to remember that you are a, key word here, powerful artist. Now, maybe you are an artist in that you make paintings or poems or visual pieces, but if that is not you, that's okay. The art is you. The art is how you make this very minuscule stretch of time on this planet rich and interesting. Are you starting to see what I am talking about here? Life is the canvas. Your unique experiences, values, perspectives, those are your paints. And the choices you make, the way you show up, the way you carry yourself, those are your brushstrokes. Every single day, you are creating. Lucky for us, the new world rewards creativity. Now, this isn't just about financial abundance. I found a deep sense of integration. My ambitious self, my creative self, and my deep desire for impact were now all playing on the same team, fueled by my healthy dose of delusion. When you begin to act from this place of radical self-belief, that delusion, something starts to shift dramatically, and it's like a ripple effect. Because now you're working in alignment with your highest self, your unique gifts. You're showing up every day with a sense of abundance and fulfillment and overall happiness, right? And that's when the ripple effect starts to happen, because now you're not going around ruining other people's day. You aren't screaming out of the car window because someone didn't see the green light the very second that you saw the green light. And now they can continue on with the possibility of a good day. You have financial abundance to give to people less privileged than you and influence the real systemic change that the new world is requiring. The ones with heart-led creative visions have no business being broke right now. Your unique gifts will make an impact at varying degrees of scale. It's 500, 10,000, 100,000, millions. There is no wrong number. That is why God gave us all unique sets of gifts, the concept of abundance, and a job that is well within humanity's bandwidth to accomplish. There is a lot of work to do, but if we're all pulling our weight, we're covered. This is the new world being built right now. It doesn't happen when we're disconnected. We have like the biggest group project ever right now, and you cannot be sitting in the corner doom scrolling. Your creative contribution, fueled by any and all delusion, is absolutely necessary. We need to operationalize this creative delusion. So here are 3 steps that I took to go from being broke and hopeless to living as a thriving creative. First step, you need to starve the doubt. You need to be able to intentionally plug and unplug from the matrix. You need to stop reading the news every day. You need to stop reading the tabloids. You need to do an energetic clean out of your digital life, your real life, your social life, all of it. For me, this looked like unfollowing people that didn't inspire me, actually making my physical space one that felt good to create in. And yeah, I had to stop reading the news every day. It's not good for you. We are not meant to know all of that all the time. Our nervous system is not equipped to handle that. Now I say intentionally plug and unplug because you do need to be an empowered citizen of your designated country. We all know what's happening right now. But especially for this experiment, you really, 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 and I cannot emphasize this enough, take it in tiny, tiny doses. The tiny, tiny doses are really what started to shift that feeling of hopelessness to optimism, so that way I actually had the energy to act. Okay, step 2 is if jobs didn't exist, what would you actually be doing? You must start exploring, start doing, start trying things, start chasing anything that mildly sparks your curiosity. Just do. This is how you start gathering evidence for your delusion. Step 3 is document your doing and publish your delusion. This is really where the magic happens for creatives. You're already doing. So all you have to do now is publish what you're doing. This internet, this is a creative playground, and this is really where the financial abundance lies. It doesn't matter if it's your art, your words, your experiences, that is the doing. That is the creativity we were talking about, remember, right? I started just sharing my insights, what I was doing, my thoughts, ideas around creativity, my artistic flow, and the financial abundance started to come in. And in the last 10 months, I've grown 25,000 followers on Instagram. You can follow us and be part of our little community over there. But I can't believe, like 2 years ago, would never have thought I'd be here. Never. Like, no way. And it's really in doing that now I know, like, this is when you have to gather the evidence. Anything is possible. You can literally do anything. Like, this is the new world we're playing in, and this is like really the hope. When you do these things for yourself, when you actually publish your doing, when you like start to engage, right, with the creative flow, you will start to see this abundance. It's not going to just come to you. You have to fiercely show up for it and keep showing up. So if you're feeling broke and hopeless about the world, it's not your fault, but it is an invitation. It's an invitation to lean into your unique gifts, believe in their power, even when no one else does. Just start being strategically delusional. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like and subscribe. It really helps get this message to everyone that really needs it. And I would love to hear from you. Comment what you are most hopeful for. If you are a creative doer, maker, healer, artist struggling with the documenting part, I have a coaching program called Intentional Impact Immersion, where I teach this very thing to help unlock that next level of life, to help build this new world. So if you are interested in that, you can book a strategy call with me at the link in the description. It's completely free. And I'll see you next time. Love you.